Here we go. You know, I'm a huge Clone Commando fan, and I've been very hyped over the Hot Toys Clone Commandos. They are dream figures for me. I understand they're not perfect, but they make my soul smile. And this, my friends, is the Hot Toys Television Masterpiece Series 151 Clone Commando Boss. Yes, I said television because this figure is based on his depiction from the Clone Wars series. This is not based on the Republic Commando video game. Very disappointing, but I guess Lucasfilm doesn't let these companies make things based off that video game. No idea why, but yeah, this is a Clone Commando boss from the Clone Wars. So he does have the Clone Wars quirks to his design, most notably, like his stripe has like a little narrow bit to it. His shoulder pads, you know, they're a bit different in the Clone Wars. He doesn't have too many drastically changed details from Clone Wars to video game, like some of the other characters have, but there's a few little subtle differences. Me personally, I still think this figure looks fantastic, and it only really has one serious inaccuracy, but let's be honest, it's not that serious. You'll find out what that is in a second, but I like taking a look at the boxes first, just because I like me a good old Hot Toys art box. So you can see the picture of Boss in the front looks super awesome. He's got the visor lit up. That picture right there looks very cool and depicts him with his little DC-17s. Some people may be wondering, why does he come with the DC-17s and not the little commando pistols? It's because this is Clone Wars Boss, and he has a promo image where he's holding DC-17s. So, yeah, it's a nice box. It does have the very ugly sticker right there with the battery warning. I've noticed that on big Lego sets with batteries as well. I guess somebody done went and choked, and some lawmaker changed that. But anyways, here is our picture of Boss, and we can see on this poster, they kind of filled out the squad in a weird way. So you got Boss and Scorch, but then you have an Imperial Commando, which I'm still undecided if I want to get. And then we got a couple Plane Commandos, which I will definitely get me a Plane Commando. I also did go ahead and put in a pre-order for Gregor, because I mean, number one, Gregor's cool, and also he's a 212th, so, I had a valid excuse, I'm sorry. Anyways, bringing Boss back in, I gotta say, this figure has some of the most impressive weathering I've seen on a Hot Toy so far. It looks super fantastic. We will take a lot of time looking at the details on this guy, but first, I want to go over his accessories. So his first accessory is his skull cap! Yeah, I'm just gonna turn his lights off while we're going over this, because we're not talking about him. We're talking about his accessories. So obviously first, he has a Hot Toys style 1/6 scale display base. You can see it says Clone Commando Boss. I really like all the scratching and everything on the base. This is probably the nicest version of this base that I have in my collection so far. It's a crotch cradle, so you can adjust it up and down. Not on the figure, he comes with this data pad thing. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Don't remember him using this. Honestly, I can't even really remember where this shows up in Star Wars, except for, is this what Shmi Skywalker's looking at during the pod race? I honestly don't really have much of an idea, but it's a nice little data pad. It might come in handy for some sort of 1/6 scale display. On the figure, I had him holding his Republic Commando gun, and as always, it looks really cool. It's super awesome. It does not seem to detach or anything, doesn't really have that modularity. But hey, at least we know Sev is going to have it in the sniper configuration. I just wish we had one in the grenade launcher configuration. But yeah, this is very, very nice looking, and I love all the silver and the weathering on it. And other than that, we have to look to his backpack for the rest of the accessories, because awesomely, just like Scorch, he has a removable backpack. It attaches with a magnet on his back, and I have to say, this backpack is loaded with paint detail. You can see what I meant with all the weathering and everything. He's got like specks of dirt, he's got grime, he has paint chipping, he's got paint scratches. The paint is just fantastic on this. And in case you're wondering, I did check. This does not have magnets in it. You cannot put Scorch's attachments on this. This is just what it is. But just like Scorch's, it opens up, and you can fit pretty much all of his accessories inside. Pretty much all of them. So let's see what I put in there. I put in his extra wrist pegs, because he comes with those in case they break. I've never had a Hot Toys wrist peg break. He has a right open gesturing hand. Very fittingly for Boss, he has a left pointing hand, even though, if we're getting picky, It really would have been nice if it was a 2-finger point, but hey, I'm happy he at least has a pointing hand. I will very likely display him with that once I get the whole squad. He's got a right open hand, and he has a left trigger finger hand, and the opposites of those are currently on the figure. Like I said, this is Clone Wars Boss, so he does come with 2 DC-17s. I understand and appreciate this inclusion, but I really wish he had the Republic Commando gun, the blaster that came with Scorch. This was always my go-to weapon because I didn't want to waste ammo, so I always had this out by default. So, yeah, I will very likely display my boss with this when everything's said and done. And if you're wondering if this is going to fit in his backpack, it does! Just keep in mind it's going to hoard up most of the space and you won't be able to put alternate hands in there too. Alright, with accessories out of the way, I went ahead and loaded him up with the DC-17s, so that way he has smaller weapons that don't really get in the way of how awesome his detail is. This boss is absolutely insane. This has to be the most detailed clone trooper figure I have ever seen. Ever. Out of all my Hot Toys. Like, all the scratching, all the weathering. It's just wild to me how much detail they packed into this figure. There is so much. You can see he's got more of like the Clone Wars style, like printing detail on his arms. But he has a lot of subtle little detail that I didn't even really realize with Boss. For starters, looking at the helmet, I didn't realize that Clone Wars Boss has like this little black bordering the helmet, but he does. That's a very cool little detail, and it looks very nice. He has this little subtle orange on the shoulder pad that actually goes up right there. His dots on his chest are red. They are not orange. They are actually red. Yeah, he just looks insane. Now, I did mention one inaccuracy, and I looked at Clone Wars Boss. I looked pretty close. I think the proportions are pretty spot on to his Clone Wars appearance. I think most of the armor is pretty spot on. Pretty much the only significant inaccuracy that I really noticed is the crotch. And if you're going to care about the crotch armor, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Now, granted, they could have reshaped it. Basically, it should be a little bit more round, and this like piece right here should actually be facing the other way. I can't be bothered, dude. It's the crotch armor. I cannot say that is the most important detail of a Republic Commando armor. It does not bother me. Now, granted, yes, I do understand everyone's like issues and concerns with these Hot Toys Republic Commandos. It would have been really nice if they had the blades on the hands, if they were a little bulkier, if they were the video game versions. I totally get that, but I'm just very happy that we got Hot Toys Republic Commandos. These were dream figures for me. Absolutely dream figures. When I started collecting Hot Toys clones, I told myself they needed to make Delta Squad. And I am very happy and very grateful that we are getting them. Especially when the detail is this insane. Here, let me turn on his lights just so we can really see him in full. Oh my gosh. That's Boss. This is RC1138. Like, this is him, dude. Look at all of the scratching, all of the weathering. It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. Like, look at it on the shoulder pad. My favorite bit right here is on the chest. Look at like the subtle little white on the groove where the paint has been weathered away. It's just wild. Like, so much like edge weathering. So much. This is probably the most impressive weathering job I've ever seen. And it's a little heavier around the boots as well, as it should be. Yeah, this is remarkable. Hot Toys absolutely outdid themselves. Look at the shoulder pad as well. So much white from where the orange paint's been worn away. And I personally really do like the shaping of the orange stripe on the helmet. I know original Republic Commando, it's a lot, thicker of a stripe. But that subtle little, like, I don't know, hourglass shape just makes it look nicer to me. I don't know how to describe it. I just really like the look. Yeah, this figure is gorgeous, man. I don't know if I've honestly been at a loss for words trying to film this. Like, I've been fumbling over my words and everything because I can't express how blown away I am. I really can't. Now, being a Hot Toys figure, another addition is he poses very, very well. He's got a lot of articulation. Just to make sure that this doesn't accidentally fall off, I'm going to take the backpack off. So his helmet moves pretty well, like especially up. That is a lot of nice range. Down, you can have the neck joint up here have a lot of the range, or you can have it like down at the base of the neck if you want some range there. You get a lot of nice tilt, like the head is just gonna move pretty much anywhere you want it to. The shoulder pads are Velcro, but you do have a butterfly joint, and the shoulders will move up pretty much about that far before you're really starting to stretch the material. The arms can move pretty much all the way forward. You do have a bicep swivel, and you do have an elbow joint as well. It's a double elbow, bends in pretty much all the way. For the torso, you do have a lot of armor that's getting in the way, but you do have at least some rotation action going on. You've got like a little bit of tilt side to side and a little bit of a crunch, but I feel like I'm just kind of shifting the armor more than I'm moving a joint in there. I missed the wrists. They are standard 1/6 scale wrist pegs. Yeah, they will hinge. They will do what you need them to do. The hips can spread pretty much all the way because it's a very nice elastic material. The hips also move forward pretty decently, but do keep in mind the armor, the codpiece, is going to start kind of spreading the legs outward as you bend them. That's just the design of the armor. You do have a thigh swivel. You do have a double jointed knee that pretty much is going to bend in all the way for you. And at the ankles, they are on ball joints. It's a double ball joint, so it's pretty much going to move and get all that range that you're really looking for. All right, for some comparisons, I'm going to start off small. Here is my 3 3/4 inch Boss. This one is based off the video game. You can see his shoulder pads are a little bit different. He has like 2 stripes on this one because it's supposed to be a bigger shoulder pad, but in the Clone Wars, they're both the same size. Yeah, slightly different design, but overall, still the same energy of the character. When I was a kid, I thought the weathering on this one was impressive, but comparing it to what we get with this one, it's pretty wild how drastically different all that is. And here is with the original Clone Wars Boss figure. Interestingly, the Clone Wars figure, the stripe on the helmet is not quite accurate to what it is in the Clone Wars. But still, it's interesting that back in the Clone Wars, they did make a figure for Boss, even though they didn't make the rest of the Delta Squad. But you can see, like, with the figure, like, the elbow pads are pretty accurate. Like, they're pretty much the same as they are on the Hot Toys one. There's, you know, the same kind of shoulder pad where it just has that one singular stripe. You can definitely tell comparing these that this Hot Toys one is more based off of the Clone Wars. And, of course, I have to bring in Scorch. I have to. This squad is looking very, very nice so far. I do have to say, in comparison, Scorch's weathering is not nearly as impressive as Boss's. I don't know if that's just lore that Boss has seen more action and he's the leader. I don't know. It might be because Scorch is based off the Bad Batch and his armor was just fairly clean in that show. But anyways, it's awesome to see Delta Squad pan out. We've got Scorch, we've got Boss. We already have seen the prototypes of Sev and Fixer. This is going to be an amazing collection when it's all said and done. I am so hyped. I'll have the normal White Commando and Gregor as well. Not sure about that Imp Commando quite yet. I'll probably end up with it at some point. It's just not like, it doesn't click with me like the others do. I mean, obviously Deltas are going to click, but... Ooh, are they going to do a black one? Or are they going to do Omega Squad? I don't know. Oh, if they do Feast Scarada, I could just be hyping over these all day. Yeah, these are amazing figures. I definitely prefer Boss over Scorch. That's just me. Even though Scorch is the one that came with this gun that I have with Boss right now. So, definitely still love the Scorch. But the Boss just, it blows me away even more than Scorch did. Alrighty guys, there's my look at the Hot Toys Clone Commando Boss. I absolutely love this figure. For whatever reason, this was a challenge to film. I just couldn't think straight. But we got there. I love this guy. It's super incredible. I cannot wait for the rest of the Deltas. I am noticing that his visor, the LED, is already starting to dim in comparison to Scorch's. His is still going strong, but Boss is out here struggling a little bit. Very interesting. But yeah, still love this guy. Absolutely love it. I personally think the visors look perfectly fine without the lights on. But for this video, obviously, I want the lights on. They look really cool. Let me know what you think. Do you like these Hot Toys Republic Commandos? Are you okay with them being based off the animation? Or is that inaccurate codpiece really a deal breaker for you? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And also, which one do you prefer, Scorch or Boss? I definitely am liking this Boss figure a lot more. Special shout out to channel members as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.